It's the Cable
Well, we can just start. Everybody ready? Hey, Nick Savage, thanks for 55 months. Community Cube. Interesting that there's no 7+ drops. There's plenty of 7+ drops, as you'll soon see. All right. It's a mono black cube. There are some things in the format. So you see there's multiple pithing needle effects in this opener. There's cards like the One Ring in here. There's equipment in here. I was thinking that I could get away with it so long as I had artifact answers to those things. And so we see. I think I want to pack one, pick one, metamorph. That's what I think. This is the inaugural draft. Yeah, this is our first draft here. Him to Turok was also very tempting from that pack. How risky is him? Not that risky. Him's always good. Metamorph, keep my colors open. Exactly. Oh, I meant to cut Nev's disc when I added the other 4-mana sweeper. I'm looking at Voidwalker. Strategic Betrayal was one that I thought of when I was like going to sleep last night. I was like, oh shit. It's like Graveyard Hate. Like, Edicts aren't amazing in this deck, in this cube, because there's a bunch of recursive creatures, right? Bloodghasts and stuff. But this one actually is good against that sort of thing. So I thought it'd be sweet. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Voidwalker. Court of Locthwain's interesting, huh? A little way to get Monarchy. There's a land in here that gives you the Monarchy that I found as I was like looking at other lists. Ooh. This is a sick pack. Carrion Feeder and Death Cloud are both like really interesting directions. I think Mimic Vat is where it's at. I think I'm just going to fucking Mimic Vat. That card seems like a pain in the dick, right? If I'd taken the Worn Power Stone earlier, I'd be on Death Cloud right now. There'd be no stopping me. I'm like, yep, clouding. No Doomsday. What win condition would you use for Doomsday? Yeah, Tainted Pact is not amazing in this cube, but black doesn't have a ton of filtering. Artifacts difficult to deal with once online. Yeah, I was saying how there's like 4 or 5 different needle effects, and then I'm including 7-mana Karn in this cube for that reason. Like 7-mana Karn can actually pop artifacts and stuff. Kind of nice. So Extinction Event doesn't have synergy with Mimic Vat. It's sweet though. I almost just want to take a value card, a Maze Mind Tome or a Sorin, or even an Undercity Sewers. Am I feeling optimistic about the viability of aggro? It's hard to know without testing. That's like why we're jamming, right? Yeah, I think I want some actual factual removal, which means either Spinning Darkness or go for the throat. I wonder how good Spinning Darkness is. I really like Skeleton. God, this cube is sweet. Look at all these sick black cards. I'm gonna grab Spinning Darkness. I'm gonna take Mutilate. That's what I'm gonna do. You can press 11 to hide the top bars. Oh, thank you. Nice. Chat's so smart. Thank you. Yeah, I figured there was a way to do that, but I couldn't remember what it was. I really appreciated. Yeah, thinking about Duress. Also thinking about Sorcerer's Spyglass. One nice thing about taking Spyglass is that other people can't take it from my Mimic Vat. Thinking about Throne. Just sack it to become the Monarch. I wonder how good that is. I guess Mutilate makes it a little worse. Let's grab this Edict. If I built this in paper, what would my preferred swamp for the land station be? I would probably have a variety. Give people options. The Bring Your Own Swamps cube, amazing. Oh yeah, Spinning Darkness is unplayable, isn't it? I didn't realize it said non-black. Well, this is why we test. Amazing. I think I took it over like a go for the throat too, like a legit good removal spell. When we were building this cube, there were like a lot of chat suggestions like that, and I just like didn't even remember that Spinning Darkness only hits non-black creatures, despite having played that card. Silly meme. Marionette Master is such a cool one to put under Mimic Vat. I think I want the Sorin here, though. Alright, we'll move Spinning Darkness to the sideboard in case we play against White Weenie or something. This Sharpie over non-black. Thinking about the Lich, thinking about Una. I was originally like unexcited about Una, and then I remembered everybody's gonna be playing mono black, and I was like, okay, well that's kind of sick. Let's Lich it up. Mind Drag Demon seems decent. Got a little artifact sub-theme going here. Pack 2. Hey, there we go. Workshop is not in the cube. I'm thinking about Invoke Despair here. That card seems sick as shit. Bloodletter is in, but the 2/3 is not. Bloodletter is just in because it's a sweet demon. I didn't want 2-card combos in the cube, basically. That Damnation was mighty tempting, too. I think we've got the creature count for Refurbished Familiar to be sweet. This deck could also like really use Davriel, I think. There's Shadow Spear in here. I'm gonna grab the Familiar. Is Cryptghast in? I believe it is. I can't like check the list while I'm drafting. Really big fan of Skeletal Scrying. Kind of dig Factory. Topper Greaves would give me another Lich target, but we're doing pretty well on those. One cool thing about Factory is that we do have Crucible, potentially get it back. Maybe Corlash is sick. Maybe I just need like a cut down, as stupid as that is. Like early game interaction. A little bit worried about just getting run the fuck over. Couple sick cards here. Leaning towards the fetch. Thinking about Hostile Investigator and Kalitas. I might grab Kalitas. Oh, Kalitas is also a non-bow with Mimic Vat, right? Maybe I'll just grab Breach the Multiverse. If the best thing in the cube is casting Breach the Multiverse, I'd like to find that out now and remove it from the cube. You know? Dark Ritual. Yeah, alright. Hell yeah, Scooby. Massacre Girl would be good here. Oh, I actually added Dream Devourer. I didn't mean to. Oh well. There were a few cards that I was trying to add to a maybe board, and that included Dream Devourer. And it got added on accident. I'm gonna have this Wayfarer's Bauble. I think Bauble's good in this deck. Makes the Mutilate a little better. Are people meant to be able to activate Ravenous Scroll's ability? They can. There's a couple of green sources in the cube. Basically, I was thinking about adding that Beetle that's just like a much worse version of the card. And someone's like, why don't you just play the Squirrel? I was like, oh yeah, we could just do that. And I wanted to add the Surveillance anyway. And then there's stuff like Mycosynth Gardens and Mox Opal and Mox Diamond and such. Thinking about Toxic Deluge, thinking about Tetzimok. 11 fewer walkers than the mono red cube. Interesting. Well, Davriel came back. Soren's a good early game blocker. Profane's kind of sick. Hard to pass Abyssal Persecutor. It's kind of sick, huh? Don't currently have a ton of ways of answering it. It's like Mutilate or Extinction Event. Let's grab top. Wow, Kalidas and Hostile Investigator came back. I'm going to draft Kalidas even though it's a non-bow with Mimic Vat. I'm going to scoop a fetch. Starting to look good with the top and the Brainstone here. There's an untapper land that I think would be cute with connections. Do I need a card draw engine? Thinking about the flute. I'll try out connections. I'm thinking Songs of the Damned is just going to end up not being very good. It was a late-minute ad. How does Cube differ from a normal limited environment? Cube is a curated environment, and a normal limited environment is just booster sets put out by Wizards of the Coast. Oh, shit. I think I just want the One Ring, huh? Can Dark Ritual it out on turn 2. Too bad we can't get Shielded, too. We have Metamorph, too, for the One Ring. I think this is a Cabal Coffers deck. We've got Wayfarer's Bauble. We've got, like, Bitterhorn that can tutor out lands. I think Coffers is going to be sweet. A lot of baubles for Lurrus to potentially rebuy. Wouldn't appear in normal packs. They would, but they'd be in like this strategic betrayal is in this set, right? But Mutilate's in a completely different set. You wouldn't see these cards in a normal booster next to each other. Like right now we're drafting a mono black cube. Wizards has never released a set that was only mono black cards. They got close with Torment. This is a hard pick. There's Thoughtseize and I do want that Myriad Landscape. Should probably just take the name Thoughtseize, huh? Turok's kind of fucked up. I don't think I'm playing Crucible. We didn't get the Strip Mine or anything. The fetches are still good, though. We still have Brainstorm in top. Oh, Stone leaves One Ring around. It's kind of cute. Add 4 mana of the chosen color. There's Gonti here, too. Urborg's sweet with Cabal Coffers. Let's it count itself. Yeah, it's possible I should have taken Throne of Eldraine here. There's a few other Ballistas, Bell. Not Walking Ballista. Lucky Clover would not be very good here, no. Here's Song Donation go through. I don't see it spawn. If you want to post a link, I'll be happy to play a song. Think about Aetherborn, actually. Or maybe Fill the Profane. Maybe I want a Raucous Theater, so my fetch can actually get a Surveil land. I kind of dig that. Smart picks. Maybe I should have grabbed that Demon. Wondering if this Lurrus is any good. There's Brainstone and Wayfarer's Bauble are the main interesting ones. I guess there's Voidwalker. Voidwalker's a good one to rebuy. Oh, let's take Dread Presence. We have a little landfall stuff. Landscape Wield, yes. The Fairy Macabre would have been my first piece of real graveyard hate, except for Strategic Betrayal. Yeah, as good as Ballista is, and possibly is the correct pick, I'm going to take Throne. Try that card out. I don't know if I've ever activated it before. So I'm actually sitting across from Mana Wargs. So we would be facing each other. I'd probably be more likely to play the Filigree Silex, but I would much rather not play against Perilous Vault. Hey, I got the Demon Bang. Nice. Mono Black Landfall. How did I set on 450? I was emulating an existing cube, but 450 is a pretty good number for in terms of replayability. And if you go up to 560, you're like kind of stretching things, like you're lowering the power level, right? You increase replayability every time you make the cube larger. You increase the replayability, but then you lower the power level. All right, let's get the deck loaded up. Doesn't seem like enough lands to me. Where's the button to download the drafted cards? Export. It'll be an export button. All right, we got some cuts to make. There's a lot of good ass cards here. I think I'm not going to play Talisman. I think I am going to play Spyglass. I might not play Sword of the Animist, even though I've got all the landfall stuff. It makes sense to play it. It's another early game artifact for the Lich. Yeah, another artifact for Refurbished Familiar, too. Maybe Familiar gets cut. It's a little rinky-dink in comparison to what else that I'm doing. It's a cute one under Mimic Vat, though. Maybe Kalitas is a sideboard card because it interacts with my Vat in a bad way. Let's go ahead and cut Liliana's Mastery. Solid card on its own, but we don't need it. I'm just going to cut Connections. Oh, I like the life gain on Kalitas, that's right. Yeah, I like Metamorph in the cube for the One Ring and Grey Merchant, right? There's just like a bunch of cool stuff to copy. Have multiple copies of. Man, I still need a lot of cuts. This is hard. Maybe I don't need Toxic Deluge and Mutilate in the main deck. Oh yeah, and there's Extinction Event in here. Alright. I am doing a 365, yeah. I need 3 more cuts. Yeah, I think I gotta cut Throne. I'm gonna do 17 lands. Cube on rock and roll. Heck yeah. This hand does not seem very good, does it? It's just very slow. I think Mimivax's gonna be sick. It's a matter of if we can live long enough to get it down, get it rolling. Currency Converter, nice. Love that card. Is that a Wayfarer's Bauble? Wow, that just sped this hand the fuck up, huh? We could actually turn 3 Kalitas if we wanted to. Kalitas. Gonna save that Marsh Flats for post-op Nixilis, ideally. I do have all my colors, yeah. If you were a streamer, you would never put pants on. I can't do that. I'm always paranoid. The camera's gonna drop or something. I have done boxers before. And if you ever see me in a bathrobe, there's definitely nothing under that robe, but I'm always clothed up. Thoughtseize isn't very good against Currency Converter. It might just be the correct thing to fire off here anyway. Quag Feast, Eliminator, Bone Shards. Let's take the Eliminator and they'll get to spit a 2-2 out. Another black deck, real original. Oh, they made a treasure to sack to the dockside chef. Nice. Love that. Very cute. Oh yeah, I'm not worried about my nudity, Ponder Putty. I'm very comfortable with my body. But, you know, Twitch has rules and stuff. I try to abide by them. But with my income being attached and everything. Hey, the Prince thinks of 78 months there. Rules, right? Rules. Hello. Congrats on the BBQ win. The top 8 was stacked, right? Yeah, it was a pretty tough top 8. I was hoping to save this fetch for Obnix's list, but I don't think that's going to happen here. I think we're going to need to activate this here, Mimic that. Oh, I need to respond to the recurring nightmare. Oh, the creature's getting exiled anyway. I think with Voidwalker and Kalitas down, I would have been able to choose which replacement effect, and then I could have gotten a 2/2. What are the vibes? Mono Black Cube is the vibe. The opponent gets to choose with their cards. Okay, so even though it's my replacement effects, it's their cards, so they choose which one to apply. Well, there's some 2/2s, huh? That's not bad. That was mean. It was a not nice thing to do, that's for sure. Hey, Ladorb, thanks for gifting some subs. Congratulations to Zeloraptor, to J Will 7396, to Paranoid Kitty, to Pseudonanka, and to Stone Cold Fox. Hell yeah. Is this the matchup for Spinning Darkness? Did I find it? I would like to do this again. And I will be making a swap. We're going to swap out Spinning Darkness and probably Tainted Pact for something. We can spend a few minutes there and figure out what good differences might be. Maybe put some more utility lands in the cube, huh? I had a huge amount of playables, it felt like. That's one of the nice things about a monocolored cube, is that you don't have to invest a ton of picks into your mana base. So you're always going to have enough playables. Everything's going to be on color, at least. Hey, sup, Blue Frost? Sup, everybody? Hope folks are having a pleasant Monday night. Spawning pools, another creature land? Yeah. A little low-powered. I was thinking maybe the removal lands. I added Ifnir Dreadlands, and then I cut it at the last minute. This is the threshold one, too. It gives -2/-2. People suggested yesterday. I'm not going to turn one Mimic that. We have a pretty good hand for slowing people down with a cut down on Shieldred's Edict. And then I think the Dark Ritual is like staple to this Breach. And this is going to give me a Surveil land to try and hit land drops. Ooh. I kind of want to keep it to turn off the currency converter, but I'm going to bin. We need lands over here. That seems like a thing I should cut down. Oh, that was poor. Yeah, Miss Mary Fiend has the old wording. I just saw chat exploding, and I was like, why is chat exploding? Just killed a Mesmeric Fiend, not a big deal. So most cards with that effect actually have like the new thing where it's like one paragraph, and you can kill them with the trigger on the stack, and they won't actually take anything. Mesmeric Fiend has the old wording, which makes it, and it's the reason that it's in here, even though it's underpowered in comparison to Freebooter or something. It does, what's the word? What they exile anyway? Extinction event, sure. It does play well with sacrifice effects, and there's like a bunch of sack outlets in the cube. So it's very funny that I made that mistake, because that's like the whole reason that it's in the cube in the first place, is that it's it plays well with sacking it with the trigger on the stack. Recurring Nightmare, sure. How feasible is Tendrils? Probably difficult. So the cube that we mimicked a bit, the cube we were inspired by, spell-based combo is like one of the harder things to do. It's difficult when you're monocolor, right? Oh, Shielded Edict can just hit the troll, because the squirrel's a non-token, or a token rather. And then I believe we should put a troll under the Mimic Vat. Yeah, it's possible that Mimic Vat is like a little too frustrating to have to deal with in the cube. Mimic Vat and the One Ring are both like kind of on my radar as maybe being obnoxious. Even though I've put in like 4 different needle effects. On the other hand, it's kind of sweet to play a cube where Mimic Vat's still sweet. Aside from needles, discard, no way to interact with them. There's sweepers that hit them too. There's like O-Stone, and then there's 7 mana Karn, and then the other 4 needle effects. You feel like cards that mess with your opponent's graveyard or against the spirit, a mono black cube. I think there should be some ways of interacting with the graveyard, just like there should be like removal for things, right? Like you should be able to interact with most things your opponents are doing. I don't think the interaction should be overpowered though. That was one of the things we thought about when we were trying to scale Reanimator. Is like, how do we make Reanimator playable without just being the most busted shit you can do in the cube? Oh, Stone doesn't hit the ring? No. We do have the other sweeper that does exile, though. And all the needle effects and such. And you can, like, attack somebody that's ringing and try and kill them with damage the usual way. And then there's Orcs and Shieldred. So, like, Orcs and Shieldred do nothing to mimic that, but there's a few other things that hit ring and such. Oh, they recurring nightmared it. I got to draw 2 and lose 2 life. Very cute. Yeah, I wonder how good this card is. I mean, it is only a 2-drop, right? So it can't be like the most busted thing ever, but it does seem sweet in a black cube. There's probably a bunch of little ways of doing it. Cool. Thank you, Mana Wargs, for the match. I would like to fire up another one. Let's go! Let's fucking draft. All right, there's 2 cards in this pack that I very much want to try and make work. One of them is Bolas's Citadel. The other one is Death Cloud. Oh, man. Death Cloud would be more combo-y. We'd be trying to combo folks. Sounds like we've got some Death Cloud votes. All right, let's go for a big cloud. That is one of my favorite things to do in Magic, is make a giant Death Cloud. The first time I played in Estates, I played a mono black Death Cloud deck that I had brewed up, and I actually beat Ravager Affinity the several times that I faced it. I was like main decking relic barriers and shit. Like, Umezawa's might be a really high pick in this format, like a troublingly high pick. I think Pestilence is underpowered. I wanted to play Pestilence with Obliterator. I wanted there to be like direct damages to Obliterator so you can kind of control it. But it might just not be good enough. Would I mind if people draft the cube themselves without my involvement? I think that's a large purpose of making a cube is that people drafted Jackal Demon. That's a Thran Dynamo for me, for little old me. Yeah, the cube is public. Go nuts. Absolutely go nuts. So I'm thinking about Chupacabra. I'm thinking about Strip Mine, too. I'm going to grab this here Strip Mine here. You bet Filth is disgusting? It probably is, yeah. It probably depends on how easy it is to get in the graveyard with your deck. But there's discard outlets. There's a little bit of self-mill. There's certainly sack outlets, huh? Like, you just play it for 4 second to carry and feeding, serving with the team. You think Nightmare would be fun? Nightmare's a little underpowered. Old school classic cards like Nightmare, Hypnotic Spectre don't really hold up well to modern Magic, unfortunately. Looking at Bloodchief's Thirst and Gifted Aetherborn. So I'm going to grab Aetherborn here. Mutilate also tempting. The original art does rip on Nightmare, yeah. Dread Return came in because there were cards that needed to come out, Bugford. I also didn't get mad that people suggested it. I got mad when people suggested it the, like, billionth time. Original Pox? I don't think Original Pox is playable. I saw Pox in, like, another mono black cube, but it's, like, difficult for you to get around any of the downsides. Like, you can't sculpt your deck with it like you can in Constructed. In, like, classic Pox decks. Hey. Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So, like, the last time that Smallpox was playable, people were playing it with the land that would tutor up another land, right? A bunch of, like, Lingering Souls and such. Cards that you wanted to bin. Cards that you didn't mind sacrificing. I think you're just, in this cube, Pox is just going to be a terrible edict. Where a lot of your opponents, like, don't mind sacrificing a couple cards anyway. Because they're Blood Artisting or whatever. And then you're dealing yourself damage and such. Just pure playability. Is Bubbling Muck where I want to be here? Does Bubbling Muck get me there? I'm going to grab the Memory Jar. I really like Corpses of the Lost, but I'm just, like, not nearly aggressive enough for it. The Rack and Waste Knot, I think, are also very narrow. Let's test this puppy out. See if it's doable. See, Bandit's Talent is a rack effect that also, like, does something, is why it's in here. Davriel is a rack effect that does something. I don't want to, like, have a card that does nothing. And rack kind of is that. Oops. Well, Tiny Ones is solid. Death Shadow? Death Shadow is another one that, like, takes a lot of support. And then you have one Death Shadow in your deck that's built around it. It doesn't work very well. There is a Storm deck. There's Tendrils and then the 4-mana artifact. Where you can pay 50 life to deal 50. Those are the 2 Storm win cons. Yep, top Citadel's in there. No power, unfortunate. I'm gonna draft Breach again. I didn't end up casting it last time, which is a good sign. That's actually a very good sign. Because I was worried that it was gonna be like one of the better things to do. But I certainly have the ramp for it here. Hangerback is great with Death Cloud, but Breach is sort of like another Death Cloud. It's like another thing for me to ramp into. It's going to increase the consistency of my deck here. Chrome Mox, fantastic. The Crucible is very interesting here with Strip Mine. I bet I can wheel it. Oh, and Cloud, huh? I wonder if I should have taken the time to change all the additions in the cube to what I had on Magic Online. Save some heartache when I'm lending cards out. Could have cubed, can XI. I'm sure there'll be other times. We might even do a third one after this. We're only playing single rounds. Oh, we're only in pack 2. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the Stronghold, I think. No, I'll grab Walker. Looking at Never Return, Shieldred, and Dread Presence here. Maybe Anoint even. Some of those early recursive threats can be kind of annoying. Yeah, let's take Anoint here. I think I'm just grabbing Go for the Throat. Nice little bit of removal. Skitter's interesting. Skitter's very good against me. Hey, Kinexi, thanks for giving a sub to Emily Evergarden. For reminding you of Revelark, your beloved. Yeah. Find you someone who loves you as much as Kinexi loves Revelark. I almost like that Deathless Knight here. Maybe Disruptor Flute. Yeah, I'm valuing Needle Effects very high. Poxwalkers is a great card, but we don't really have any recursion to get it back. You think I can just cast a damn Spirit of the Night? 9 mana? That's so much mana. Probably not. Oh yeah, I wanted to swap out Tainted Pact. There's Battlefield me about Peep Surveil 1. A little bit of filtering. I think we got a Palantir deck here. That's what I think. I think I'm going to grab Macabre for the sideboard. I do like Factory. Hey, Crucible came back. There's also a Nykthos, but we don't quite have the devotion for it anyway. A little Stronghold action. Well burninated Takumi. Certainly not aggro enough for these cards. So let's take the big stupid demon. Oh yeah, the Mutilate art goes crazy. Do I have an Edict already? I don't think I do. A lot of graveyard hate going late. Pack 3. Ooh. So from this pack, Hedron Archive and Karn are the two that are speaking to me. One of the issues with Karn is that I can't really beat it very well. Hedron Archive is really what we're doing, though. That's really the deck come. How goes draft in the mono black cube? I'm having fun. Ooh, treasure map. Treasure map's so good here. Filtering and acceleration. Is the Abyss just nuts? How do I win the game? let's take it. I guess there's artifact creatures. I have one in here. Oh, the Spirit of the Night has protection from the Abyss. That's right, Abyss targets. I found that out in Cube, actually. I did a draft a very long time ago. I vaguely remember. I think Brad Nelson. I played Brad Nelson in the finals, and he just murdered me with goblins very easily. Oh, Mox Opal's sick here. I like the fetches. I really like the fetches with what I got going on, but we're gonna take the Mox. I think we have enough artifacts for it. The Bard Narsen. But yeah, in that draft, my opponent had the Abyss and I had Mother of Runes. I got to hold it off. Nimble Mongoose and White Knight, also interesting. Where as far as where the Abyss is concerned. Ooh, the Et's interesting. Lotus Bloom's a little one-shot for me. Heraldic Banner would make sense, and Wormcoil Engine makes sense. I think I'm supposed to grab Wormcoil because it plays well with the Abyss here. Mind Stone. Oh, that's so good. There's some sick cards here. That Emrakul is terrifying. So top's not amazing in my deck. I don't have a bunch of shuffle effects and stuff, but it is a cheap artifact for Mox Opal, which I kind of dig. It's also a card you can stash in play before you Deathcloud everyone's hands away. I think that's enough for me. Yeah, Virtue's sweet. Just have Virtue and the Abyss going at the same time. How do you lose? I'm just gonna. I think you're right. I'm just gonna snag that. Hey, Chemical. Thanks to the Sob. Thanks to the 111 months. Appreciate it. I might cut the Memory Jar. I was kind of hoping we would get Shieldred or something to turn into a instant KO. Entomb Wheeling, nice. I'm gonna grab this Manifold Key and then wish that I had taken the Sensei's Divining Tom. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sideboard the Lich in case I need an early blocker, I guess. So we have 5 cards here. So 31 minus 5 is 16. So currently I need to make 3 cuts. I'll cut Scavenger. Play the Treasure Vault for Mox Opal. Yeah, I was thinking it was awkward with Bubbling Muck, but maybe I'll just cut the Bubbling Muck. I think you're right about the Mox Opal consideration. I could also see a universe where you sack it at end of turn and then untap and Deathcloud for a number that's larger than the number of lands you have. I like that Soul Transfer gives me another answer to Planeswalkers. The last pick, Emrakul, wild. All right, I need to go to the bathroom. Folks can export their cards and get them set up as wish lists. I'll be back in a minute. Cool. But I do need to build. Or no, this is right. Yeah, because I built while I was drafting. Let's throw some swamps in here. Run the Fools is my opponent. Caleb versus Run the Fools. Wodar versus Maiku. Big Nuki versus Mana Wargs. Magus Master 2 versus Pywo. Gave me swamps. Now that I'm past my nefarious scheme to get on the play here of missubmitting with 14 lands, this pains me on the inside, but kind of knew there weren't going to be a ton of imprints for this Chromox. Going to be trading on Moto in my sleep, yeah, right? So many trades. Trades and retrades. Yeah, I think I want that. Ooh. Cards, please. It hurts because I really want this. Maybe I can afford to draw it. I thought I'd be scrying for another swamp here, but am I going to make more cubes over the 365? I don't know. This one wasn't just me, right? It was also chat pitching in and such. We got some clamp going. Wait, what am I doing? I was going to put cracked treasure, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm missing something. Run the Fools has 10 cards in hand. That's the dream right there. I think it displays the graveyard type when people have cards that care about it. Yeah, you could make a very low-powered mono black cube and have Nightmare in it. But it would almost be like a Peasant Plus cube. Oh. Destroy target creature of your choice. The Abyss is a sweet fucking card. I don't think it's going to be amazing here. It seems like Run the Fools has plenty of gas for the Abyss, but that's still a sweet one. Ooh, some life gain. I take 9 down to 8. That seems like a thing to do. Jail's Messenger might be for the win. I actually don't have a card to get back on my side, just the Market Walker that'll die. Is this good enough, or does Run the Fools have a thing? They got mana. Oh, there was a thing. Fart. This is actually terrible, because now the Abyss is going to kill the Geralfs, and then Run the Fools will get it. Hey, Shadow Rorix, thanks for the sub. Thanks for 38 months there. Congrats on the win. Oh, the barbecue win. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, I chose the stone worst card to bring back then, What was I supposed to do? Just get the Foulmire Knight, 7 mana, 1/1 Death Touch aim. Alright, I just need to get that Breach back somehow and recast it. Yep, this is the worst. Yep. Alright, well this can spit out a 2/2, and this can exile something. Am I dead on board? If I smack them for 3, I go up to 9. I think I'm dead. I can exile the Geralf's Messenger. Oh, Treasure Vault makes treasures. It doesn't quite seem useful, does it? I'm gonna bring the Lich in. I'm gonna cut the Abyss. Does not seem great here. We'll try this. Oh, actually... Yeah, you want to keep them both, but... Gotta bin something. Yeah, 10 cards is a lot of cards. And then you have your opponent's graveyard, too. Run the Fools, making zombies look good. I think I'm actually going to sack this Treasure Vault. Because that'll get land in the graveyard. So an Emerald Claw costs 9 mana, and we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 with the Relic of Sauron untap. Let me make it blue mana. Just because I can. The traitor to the mono black cube. Baleful Mastery. Oh god, it's still opponent, I'm gotta be honest, I'm not really sure what Run the Fools is doing here. I try to be kind to my opponents, but this does not seem like a very well played turn on their part. I don't understand any of these decisions. Bullying. Oh, are we gonna see a Grave Defiler hit? Grave Defiler is one that I really want to be good. Oh, fucking draw 3. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Emrakul, but that's still sick. Oh, it's certainly not going to be enough for Emrakul plus this. Your Ancient Tomb plus Mox Jet opponent felt largely unbeatable. What archetype were you playing? Into Wandering? Yeah, I think the One Ring and Mox Jet, they're probably two of the better cards. I'm unsure about Ancient Tomb because Aristocrats is like a supported archetype. So like if the better aggro is, the worse Ancient Tomb is, right? I wonder if Fairy Macabre's crazy. Get that Gerald's Messenger, the trigger on the stack. Yeah, not every draft is exactly the same, Jackalmon, the mixture. So for one, there's enough artifacts in the cube to support Mox Opal. So there will be some artifacty decks due to that. But for two, you can also have some drafts that are more heavily artifacts than others. And we drafted with the full 8 people. So you're just going to have more cards open than when we did the 6-man. This Carnifade just seems bad for me. Soul Transfer is an excellent answer to Gerald's Messenger, though. Hey, sup, cheese. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for 61 months. Buy myself a little treat? I will. I'll buy myself a miniature treat. Seems reasonable to use an exile spell there. I'm going to take the turn to play the Thran Dynamo rather than run on the Gifted Aetherborn here. That is a lot of value. A lot of value being represented in those critters. Is there a button to turn a deck into a binder for when you trade the cards back? Not a button, but you can export it and then import it as a binder. So there's not like a button, but you like export it, and then when you go to import, you just click on the binder version for the import, and you're importing in the same file, and that'll work just fine. And then when I go to trade you select the binder for me to trade with, and I can just grab them all. We're almost done here, so I appreciate your patience. Was the attack just to flip Liliana? I don't quite understand this. I'm going to block anyway. We'll see what's up soon enough. Tragic Slip, sure. That's a pretty good answer to an indestructible critter. I like how the Thran Dynamo still has the counter. This champion's getting a little large. A little unreasonable, in my opinion. The adaptive might be worth more damage, though. Yeah, adaptive is 6 damage. I guess I'll kill it. And I guess I'll do this. I feel like the boards in combat seem to matter a fair bit. Yeah. Had a few stomps so far, which I was obviously not hoping for. Maybe there needs to be more interaction. Hard to have too much interaction without, like, aggro becoming unplayable. Like, if you just have, like, all the sweepers in the universe. There's a solid number of sweepers in here, if you count the artifact ones. GG! Thank you for the match, Run the Fools. I appreciate it. Well murdered. GG's indeed. This is indeed the cube the chat helped craft. All right. Because I'm playing a match. Wayfarer's Bauble, nice. I love Wayfarer's Bauble in this cube. It pairs so well with, like, the Cabal Coffers plan, and there's multiple Cabal Coffers. Venom Crawler, sure. Let's see if I do something with Crucible this match, Hey, that's my relic. Look at that value. Cage Sun, This is the first time I've played this card in this cube. If we could make a cube where Spirit of the Night is, like, the best card, that would be so cool. I think there's a lot of answers to it, though. There's sweepers and edicts and such. Right. So the Abyss does nothing, because the critter is an artifact. I think only have one more clean answer to that, Liliana. Opponent's just like, okay. This Aetherborn is a brick now that I've got the Abyss down. The Abyss has not been great. A little bit worried about just dying between their... Oh, hey. They decided to let me have it. Fair enough. They're a little worried about just dying between their Reckoner and their Lava Spur Boots and their Caged Sun. Looks pretty lethal to me. Yeah, it'll do her. And the top card of my library is a sorcery, unfortunately. Dang. Alright, I'm once again going to be bringing in Emrakul. Emrakul should have just been the main, huh? And Disruptor Flute. And we're going to cut this fucking thing and this fucking thing. We can leave Virtue in. Oh, let's cut the Abyss again. For Memory Jar, of course. How about the Lich? They showed us Edicts. Oh, that's how we lost our pro Black Critter. I think we're going to 5. Don't love it, but this is not a bad 5 at least. You ever seen that Palantir art before? Yeah, I kind of dislike it, just because like a lot of the text is very unreadable. I like the. Let me put it this way: I actually like the art. I don't like the art as like a Magic card. I do like that the title is at least clear, the name of the card. That's probably the most important part. So it's certainly not as egregious as a lot of them. But I would almost just like not include this text, right? Like this is like a distraction. It's just confusing. Yeah. Get this here, Palantir rolling. Wow, it's letting me draw it. 23 life. It begins. Oh, they decided to mill this time. Interesting. Wormcoil Engine or Spirit of the Night? I'm going to Spirit of the Night. And Karn Liberated or Liliana. Yeah. Now that was a sexy Breach the Multiverse. That was a very good one. Not a bad little mold of 5. I might want an Edict in, maybe over Mutilate. The instant speed can be nice against Haste. Breach is going to instantly win the game a lot. Yeah. Yeah. You would think that had the similar thing with like Death Cloud here. I did have that whiff earlier. And then the first draft that we did, I had Breach, but it was like not correct to cast it, which I thought was a heartening sign. Yeah, Breach, Emrakul. I don't want like just ramping into like awesome things to be the default best thing to do in the cube. So we might have those on watch. I want to try drafting. We saw zombies look really good earlier, but I kind of want to try drafting actual aristocrats. I haven't seen that pop off yet. Abyss seems too easy to blank. You think so? There are many, many, many more non-artifact creatures in the cube than artifact creatures. So Abyss is going to have bad matchups. I don't want Abyss to just, like, beat everybody, right? The One Ring cometh. Yeah, I boarded in a needle effect for the One Ring, but I don't have it handy. Probably just gonna lose that fucking card. Really want to get this Palantir rolling. Cage Sun looking good. All the cards and all the mana, you say? Yeah, I think in order to punish like Ancient Tomb into the One Ring, you kind of need to be playing aggro. I don't think Magus Master had either aggro opponent. Wow, they milled? They milled from 13? They knew I had Emrakul in their deck. And they just happened to hit Virtue, and then the Virtue hit them for 9? Oh, we might have a game, friends. We might have a game. They saw me double bottom, got a little greedy. Can Palantir steal this game for me? Okay, the Metamorph can reset the ring. But they do have to shock themselves for the Metamorph. And now they can't activate this ring or tap Ancient Tomb. They do have a Nettle Cyst. And an Emperor of Bones. Those are real things. And I cannot afford my Spirit of the Night. I wish this was instant speed removal, because otherwise I could, like, kill the Germ. Here, if I kill the Germ, they just move the Nettle Cyst over to the Emperor Bones and smack me anyway. Oh, I didn't get a Palantir trigger because they had a fresh One Ring protection. Shit. I was kind of thinking I was going to get that. If I hit a swamp off the top, does that get me there? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How can I be too short now and then rip a swamp and still be short? Where am I fucking that math up? Oh shit! A Death Cloud win! We'll do it for 4, why not? That'll do. That will do. That's right, folks. We're beating 2 One Rings. Not one, but 2 One Rings. Oh, man. Very funny.